Then I took a smidge and applied it down there.
This One's Wife, the Gruesome Twosome, and their unfortunate timing. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. This One's Wife and Harry are about to arrive in Colombia. This has prompted criticism as a consequence of their selection of a country which has many problems of its own to go on another of their faux royal tours, similar to the one that they went to Nigeria in May. Also, of course, they've met with raised eyebrows at the least in relation to their selection of a country which is well known for its drug issues, violence and kidnappings, when they claim they can't come to the United Kingdom because it's not safe. Alexander Larman, writing in The Spectator, explains, as Harry and this one's wife prepare to head off on another quasi-regal tour, this time to Colombia, it is surely nothing more than a coincidence that their experienced Chief of Staff, Josh Kettler, a so-called executive accelerator and strategist, has left by mutual agreement after a 3-month trial period in the job. The only detail released was that he was felt to be not the right fit. The timing would be dismal by any standards, given that he was responsible for organising and executing the couple's trip. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex will now be travelling without Kettler. However, his departure now means that he is the 18th member of the Sussexes staff to have quit or been fired since they moved to Montecchio a few years ago. It has been suggested that there is an informal group, the Sussex Survivors Club, that those who have been through the traumatic and dispiriting experience of working for Harry and this one's wife have formed. To lose one key member of staff is understandable, to lose 2 or 3 a pity, but to lose 18 surely suggests that to enter Casa Sussex is to step foot into the least hospitable working environment imaginable. Accordingly, another commentator picking up on the fact that this high turnover of staff must surely indicate that it is not a pleasant place to work, and as I have explained to you previously, this is driven by the demanding nature of this one's wife by virtue of her narcissism. Larman continues by stating, still, onwards and upwards. Perhaps one of Kettler's tasks while planning the Colombia jaunt for the pair may have been to suggest gently to the Duke of Sussex that he should make some sort of public statement about his use of the country's most famous export that he admitted to in his memoir, Spare. Ideally, this would be contrite and heartfelt, rather than defiant, but who knows with an untethered Harry. One item on the itinerary that has been planned for the pair is a meeting with Colombia's President Gustavo Petro, who has been vocal about his country's war on drugs. It is therefore unfortunate that he will be photographed meeting someone whose high-profile use of cocaine as a younger man has rendered him notorious in many people's eyes, especially at a time when the President's administration is said to be drowning in scandal. Now, this is another good point in relation to the way that the Sussexes conduct themselves. The fact is, Harry admitted to drug use in his past, that he enjoyed a bit of the old sniff. There are those that suggest that he still indulges, often pointing out wild-eyed appearances, repeated sniffing that has taken place. No one's actually seen him ingest the drug. Nevertheless, there are those that suggest that he is still taking it. He, however, has admitted to having done so in the past, And he's going to a country which, of course, is one of the world's biggest providers of the drug, and furthermore, having a meeting with someone who's declared a war on drugs. It all seems rather hypocritical of Harry to be turning up there, given the fact that he regularly imbibed their product. But of course, this is the way of the Sussexes. Such minor details of being a hypocrite or a contrarian don't get in the way of what they want to do. They want a trip, they want to put on a faux royal trip, they will do so. It matters not to them that people will point out the hypocrisies, because the arrogance of these two is such that they will dismiss it. Harry's narcissistic trait of defiance and resentment will cause him just to pooh-pooh it, and of course this one's wife, as you know, driven by her narcissism, will reject any such criticisms because her narcissism will not allow them to stick to her. Invariably, she will complain about them to people, issue PR puff pieces, or simply bat them away, not taking on board the actual impact of them. She is incapable of doing so. Undoubtedly, the advisors will have told them, hang on a second, you're wanting to go to a country which is notorious with regard to drug production, you're going to be meeting a president who's got a war on drugs, but you, Harry, you've taken drugs in the past and you've admitted to it, so I think really we need some kind of statement from you, at the very least, if you're insistent on going. You know, of course, though, this one's wife always knows best. She won't want Harry making a statement. It'll take attention away from her. Instead, her arrogant attitude will be, that's in the past, we don't need to worry about it. And, as ever, she will not listen to advice. Who knows, perhaps Kettler did offer such advice. Who knows, perhaps it was rejected, and he's become tired of the rejection of his decent observations. In any case, Larman continues to write, the purpose of the tour is obscure. After a pointless and self-aggrandizing but strangely well-received trip to Nigeria earlier this year, in which you'll no doubt remember this one's wife announced that she was 43% Nigerian, the stated object is for the couple to address Colombia's issues of child poverty and social discrimination through their star power and influence. No doubt Harry will get in a plug or two for the Invictus Games. There will be photo opportunities of the pair with children smiling. But given that the impromptu visit is fraught with security and safety issues, the risks of something happening to either of them, heaven forbid, are likely to outweigh the limited PR opportunities that Brand Sussex will receive from the visit. Kettler's departure may have reminded many of that old saying about rats and sinking ships. This latest piece of hubris may or may not be a success on its own. Limited terms, but it is difficult to wonder why the Sussexes are still bothering to inflict their faux messiah complexes on the world, when few seem to welcome their presence in foreign climes any longer. Obscurity is a hard fate to contemplate, but sometimes it is better than the ritual humiliation that both seem masochistically intent on putting themselves through, apparently, forever. A fair observation by Alexander Larman, wondering, what on earth are you getting out of this? But remember, when you see it through the eyes of the narcissist, she gets the opportunity to control a number of people, that they will all be lined up to meet and greet, to applaud, that they will there politely applaud whatever word salad she spouts, that there'll be the photo opportunities which will be beamed around the world, and she will know all of that. She will receive all of the fuel from the reactions of those to them when they are in the country, and the reactions of others responding to the broadcast of what they're doing in that country. Undoubtedly, there will be a residual benefit of money changing hands, and there is a facade management of making it seem like they care in relation to certain philanthropic issues. Once again, you might ask, why go to Colombia? The answer is, this one's wife's narcissism dictates that it is the appropriate thing for her to do, once again, in order to pursue the prime aims, because she's failing in the United States, she failed in the United Kingdom, and in order to try and maintain some kind of prominence and relevance, she needs to, every so often, go on these faux royal tours, dragging Prince Harry with her, in order to get to the prime aims on a greater scale. Once again, by understanding narcissism, it allows you to understand why she does these seemingly strange things. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.